du'as, supplication, we make to Allah when we have problems, when we have desires, when we go through difficulty, and when we need something, we invoke to Allah and we make dua. There is nothing more popular and more beloved to Allah than making dua. It's the backbone of worship, and dua always gets answered. And when someone makes dua, three things happens. One of three things happens. You either get what you asked for, and if you do not get what you asked for, you get something else in return. Secondly, you will be saved from a disaster, from an affliction. And let's say you did not get your du'as answered on Day of Judgment, your du'as will get accumulated from dunya, and on Day of Judgment you'll get compensated for the du'as that you made in dunya. Allah said in Quran, He said, make dua to me, I will respond. He said it in chapter 2, Surah Baqarah, in verse 186. He said, when my servants ask you concerning me, I am indeed close to them. I respond to the prayer of every supplicant when he calls out to me. Let them also with a will listen to my call and believe in me, that they may walk in the right way. So Allah responds to everyone's dua. Now, I would like to share du'as for different situations. Firstly, du'as for Allah's mercy, rahmah. You can make this dua: Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Warham, wa Anta Arhamur Rahimin. Or compassionate, or the most merciful. Warham, have mercy. Wa Anta Arhamur Rahimin, and you are the most merciful of all who have mercy. Du'as for hardships. You can make the following du'as: Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khairin faqir. O my Lord, indeed I am in desperate need of whatever good that you may bestow on me. Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khairin faqir. This dua was made by Sayyidina Musa, and this dua is in Surah Al-Qasas, Surah 28, verse 24. Also you could say, Allahumma yassiril umurana kulla O Allah, make all of our affairs easy. Also, when facing hardships, you can make this dua. Allahumma najjina min kulli gam. Allahumma najjina min kulli gam. O Allah, save us from every distress. Also this dua, bi nasrillah yansuru ma yasha'u wa huwa al-azizur rahim. With Allah's help, He helps whom He desires, and He is the mighty and the merciful. This dua is in Surah Ar-Rum, the Romans, in verse 5. And this dua, when the Romans were defeated by Persian, and after the defeat, Allah said the Romans will be victorious with Allah's help in a matter of few years, and which they were victorious afterward. Now, dua for getting cure from a sickness. This dua can be made when someone is ill. This dua was made by Prophet Ayub when he was very, very ill from top of his body to the bottom of his body. He was afflicted with a skin illness. And what did he invoke to our Lord? He said, Rabbi inni massani ad-dur wa anta arhamur rahimin. He said, Oh my Lord, I have been afflicted with harm, and you are the most merciful of everyone who can have mercy. Rabbi inni massani ad-dur wa anta arhamur rahimin. Duas when worried, depressed, stressed, sick, and distressed. You can make this dua. Summa nunajji rusulana wallazina amanu kazalik haqqan alayna nunjil mu'minin. This verse is in Surah Yunus, and it's in verse 103. Summa nunajji rusulana wallazina amanu. Then I saved my messengers and those who believed. Kazalik haqqan alayna nunjil mu'minin. Likewise, it's an obligation upon me to save believers. And this verse is a promise of Allah. And when Allah makes a promise, He never breaks His promise. Allah said it throughout the Quran. The promise of Allah is true, and Allah never fails in His promise. Also, when someone is worried, depressed, stressed, sick, and distressed, any problem from wishes to worries to distress to sickness, this dua can be made even for wealth, for a job, to pass a test. You name it, and this dua is solution to every problems. It's the dua of Prophet Yunus. Prophet Yunus's dua is the #1 recommended dua from every scholars, and it's also the most effective dua, and it is one of the most effective and very, very powerful dua. And everyone tells you when you are in distress, when you have any type of wishes, to make the dua of Prophet Yunus. When he was inside the stomach of a whale, and he was in 3 darknesses, he was in triple darknesses inside the belly of the whale, the darkness of the stomach of the whale, the darkness of the ocean, and the darkness of the night, when he was cut out from all help, and when he was under the ocean in darknesses. No one can hear him, no one even knows his whereabouts. Only Allah, our Lord, knows where he is. And he was in a situation that he almost died. He was half dead, and he himself, when he woke up from unconsciousness in the stomach of the whale, it was so dark he thought he has died, and he was in his grave. And this is a prophet of Allah who entered his grave twice. First he entered when he was trapped inside the whale, and secondly after his death. So he's a prophet of Allah who entered his grave twice, and he invoked to Allah. He said, La ilaha illa anta subhanak inni kuntu minaz zalimin. There is no deity beside you, O Allah. You are indeed pure and perfect, free from every shortcomings and every blames. Inni kuntu minaz zalimin. I am indeed from the oppressors. I am not blaming Allah, I am blaming myself. And when Allah saved him, when he invoked this dua, Allah listened to him and saved him, and he ordered the whale to throw him onto the shore, and the whale vomited him out and threw him to the shore because of this dua. In the next ayah, in Surah Anbiya, verse 88, Allah said, فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ وَنَجَّيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْغَمِّ وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ, I responded to him, and I saved him from his distress. وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Likewise, I save believers. So anybody who makes the dua of Sayyidina Yunus because of وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, which is Allah's promise, Allah saying, anybody who makes the dua of Sayyidina Yunus because of my promise, وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, I will save every believers. I myself was extremely stressed more than a year ago, and I made this dua, and it took an hour for me to get out of my stress and my emotional difficulty through the dua of Sayyidina Yunus. And I also, when I was making dua of Sayyidina Yunus, I kept repeating through the dua of Sayyidina Yunus the verse from Surah Talaq, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Allah said that when you fear Allah, He always finds a way for you to get out from difficulties. He always makes a way out. So I kept repeating that وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. And not only myself got help and rescued through this dua, there are tens and thousands of stories and hundreds and tens and thousands of people in the past right now have gotten helped and rescued and saved through this dua. And this dua is very, very powerful, and anybody at any time makes this dua will get help and saved through this dua. Anyone can make this dua. It's for every believers. It's a very powerful dua, and Allah will help everyone through this dua. And we should always make dua for our problems. May Allah help us, and may Allah save us from every difficulties and every stress. And may Allah guide us, and may Allah protect us all.